Not many players or human beings out there can pride themselves as people who represented this country at the highest level and flew high the flag of this country. And since then, Ghana has just been able to lay its hands on a single silverware. And this I'm referring to specifically the senior national team, the Black Stars. One person who was a member of Ghana's 1978 Afcon winning team, that team that came back under the leadership of Koteye Champon, and were promised houses, and those houses never materialized, is Mr. Willie Klutse. He is the technical director of Interallies, one man who has contributed enormously to the development of the sport in the country. And guess what? There wouldn't be a perfect person for him to share the story with us rather than himself. And today here on Prime Take, we are speaking to Mr. Willie Klutse, Technical Director, Interallies, former international Ghana Black Stars. Mr. Klutse, how are you?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you again. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I was here a few days ago to watch your boys train. And you had a lot of things to talk about how young talents of today, they've not experienced some of the things that you could experience growing up.
Yeah, that's true. First and foremost, I want to thank God for my life and the talent that He gave to me, that I'm passing it on to the next generation. I'm so grateful to God. And when I started this journey of football, a lot of people didn't believe in me. But it's my late mother who believes in me, and she is the only person who encouraged me to follow my dreams. And today, by the grace of God, I'm able to help a lot of young people to realize their dream. So I'm very grateful to God.
Your upbringing, how was it like?
It was not easy. Back in the days, in the 60s, football is not a job or something that somebody would love his son to pursue or take it up as a future endeavor. But, you know, my mind, my soul was into football. So, although my family didn't like the trade that I picked, I pursued it, and I have to go through a lot of challenging times. But like I said, by the grace of God, I was able to make it at the end of the day.
Challenging time? What were those challenging times?
Some of the challenges was that I was supposed to be in school, but I'm always on the football field playing football. To the extent that when I got to secondary school, in West Africa Secondary School, I was supposed to be in the classroom, but I would be on the field playing football. And the whole class and the teachers would come out, and they were surprised that I choose to come to play football on the field than be in the classroom. And they stopped learning and watch me, you know, exhibiting my skills and things. And they even forget that they have to go into the classroom and go and learn.
West Africa Secondary School, is it the one at
No, at Accra, Newtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back in the 70s.
You grew up in Newtown?
I grew up in Newtown. I was born in Accra, Koliwoko, but I grew up in Accra, Newtown.
Oh, okay.
Back in the days, it's called Lagos Town.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up with Mama Aqua and Anas Seydou, and we were the top stars from Newtown.
Were your parents in Newtown?
Yeah, they were in Newtown. We have a house in Newtown.
A family house?
The family house,
oh, okay.
which is called Republic House. So it was difficult and challenging. So it got to a time I have to be kicked out of the house. That if I want to play football, then I have to go out there and go and chop football, literally. So I have to move from Accra to Dwapong. And before I went to Dwapong, in fact, I was almost a homeless guy because I was sacked from the house.
At what age was this?
That was around 16, 17 years.
You were around 16, 17?
17 years.
And who kicked you from the house?
My father. Because he was tired of me. I will not sit in the house for them to send me. I'm also always on the field playing football. So he think I'm not a good guy. I'm good for nothing. But I have this thing, passion in me that was pushing me, that my line is football. So I keep on pushing. So one day somebody approached me and told me that there was a recruitment going on at Japon, Texas.
Okay.
At that time they wanted to start a football club. So I have to pack my things and move to Japon in around 72. I went there with Charlie Wate, one knicker, one shirt. I don't even have a boot. I got there before they got me a canvas cambu. So I was sleeping on the bare floor because I have nothing and nobody knows me there.
Was it the person who took you there, or how did you get money to go there?
He took me there.
Oh, okay.
But it was a factory, so we have to sleep in the factory, where it's more or less like a warehouse. I have to sleep in the warehouse, where they keep the calico and the what do you call it, the yarns that they use in preparing the grape baths, and then sent to GTP, because GTP was their sister company. So one day we played a match and between Drantes and GTP Dumas. So the GTP people saw me. They moved me from Drapon to Tema, Committee 7. Then from there, my life started to change. I moved from Drapon to Tema. Within 3 months, I was called into the national team. And that was the turnaround in my life. Things start getting better and better and better till today.
I'll come back to talk about the national team story, but how many siblings do you have?
6.
You have 6?
Yes.
No wonder, if you were an only child, I'm wondering how your father would have kicked you out of the house.
I was
Are you the first, second, third?
I was the 5th one.
You're the 5th
Yes.
child? And you were rather perceived to be the stubborn one?
That's right. I was really, really a stubborn guy those days.
Were you perceived to be stubborn, or you were stubborn?
I was stubborn. Because, you see, back in the days, they have this word they called kobolo. People who don't stay in the house, who always cause trouble. They don't bring any good news to the house. They are fighting all over the neighborhood, breaking people's head, shooting football to hurt people and things. So I was like a troublesome kid.
Is that what you were doing? Were you a street fighter, always fighting people?
I was not a street fighter, but I was a guy who I was very aggressive. And it helps me in my football game. Because when I started playing serious football, I was a striker and I was very, very fast and very aggressive. My job in the game was to get a goal by all means. And to get a goal, you have to be very aggressive and you have to be very smart. So you have to bulldoze your way through what kind of defenders you meet on your way. Whether big or tall, you have to crush them and get your way. Just like Kusi back in the days and in Fun. They are strong enough that it's very difficult for defenders to contain them. So I would say that kind of lifestyle that I started my life with helped me in my career, and it took me very, very far, up to today.
But you also have an Ever background. How is that? Because you just talking about how you were born in Accra, but you have an Ever, or your family has always been in Accra.
Yeah, my family has always been in Accra, but we come from the Volta region. My mother comes from Denu.
Which part of the Volta region?
My mother comes from Denu.
Oh, okay.
She's a Yvonne family. And my father comes from Aflau Vieper. That is Klutse.
Okay.
Yeah, between Denu and Aflau, we have some small village there called Vieper. That's where my father comes from. So I'm 100% a Igbe boy, but born in Accra and grew up in Lagos town. So you can see the mixture and
a proper mixture.
and the aggressiveness that we learned from the Muslims in the new town.
So you don't have the perceived Aigbe juju?
No. Far from that. You see, in my life, I always give glory to God, because I was right off. I mean, I was good for nothing.
Yeah, you were written off by people.
By people, even my own family. But I know God very, very early. I put my hope and trust in God, because it got to a time to find money to buy food was a big problem. So I was just hanging on people to go and play Wenchendi, make some small money and buy food, because nobody was taking good care of me. But I was very, very determined that if I decided to play football, then I have to make it. And the only way to make it is to get to the top. So I put my energy, my everything, my soul into the game that I have to succeed.
When your father was kicking you out of the house, where was your mother?
She was around. But you see, back in the days, women don't have a say. What the man will say is the final. So although my mother, she didn't like the idea, but she has nothing to say. And I was not the type that will even stay in the house for you to see me, to advise me. I'm always on the phone. And back in the days...
And you get home late?
Very late. Because there is no food for me in the house. So I have to go around playing football and making money to feed myself. You know, and the only place they can give me is the corridor of our house. Not inside the room. I sleep outside. Because back in the days, to be honest with you, it's not today footballers are regarded as people who can make it in life. It was really, really difficult. I would say that I'm one of the guys who sacrificed their life to make football what it is today. We play football, we use football to travel, to play professional football, to make money, use football money to buy houses, buy car, got married to good and nice women, and everybody waked up and said, not knowing football is a business, it's a profession where you can play and make money. Me, myself, I didn't realize it until I traveled to the Emirates before I saw how I went because of the attention that I got when I got to the Emirates.
You spoke about how when you got to GTP in Tema within 3 months, or is it?
Yes, within 3 months I was called into the national team.
You were called into the national team. Share with us that story. Like, what really happened? That a young man goes to Japan, sleeps on the floor, nothing. All of a sudden, he's a talent that's been given an opportunity into the national team. How were you scouted by the national team handler?
I was even surprised.
Was it Osam Dodu who was the coach?
Osam Dodu and Tony Egan. By that time, Osam Dodu was in Brazil on a training course.
Okay.
Because we had the state had in mind of hosting the African Cup of Nations '78.
Yeah.
So they sent him to Brazil to prepare him to come and fix the team to play the tournament and win for Ghana. So when I was invited to the national team, my whole family was surprised that this boy that we said he was not able to achieve anything in football has now been called into the national team.
Did you play a match and
we played a match against GTP. We played league matches in GTP, and they saw my performance, they saw my aggressiveness. And back in the days, if you are a striker, you're supposed to be scoring goals, not passing the ball around or missing chances. And I was very strong, I was very aggressive, and I was getting the goals. And those are the characters they need for the national team. Although we have strikers like Opoku Afriye, George Alassane, and Owusu Kwesi Owusu, Mama Kwa, Robert Hammons, they were in the system. But out of my hard work, I told you about my background, my upbringing in terms of the aggressiveness and the seriousness and the passion that I have in the game. I was able to put my soul, my everything into the game. So I see every game as an opportunity to showcase what I have. So when
and
I was
also to redeem yourself for your family.
From my family, because they were telling me I was good for nothing. I won't end up well because I decided to play football or follow football. So the day that we were called into the national team, they saw my name in the newspapers. The whole family in Accra, everybody was holding a newspaper to my family's house. They brought it to my father as if there is a funeral. Because everybody coming was holding it. Have you seen Willie's name in the newspaper? This boy that we thought is finished, he can't do it. That is the time that my father started looking for me because he didn't know where I was. Some people say I was in Japan. He went to Japan. They say I'm in Tema. He came and he saw me in Tema Committee 7. And he was so happy that I rather lift the name of the family. That I was the first person who bring the name of Klutse into the newspapers and play in the national team. And back in the days, playing for Blasters was a big deal because that time football was very, very, very high in terms of performance and the image that football or Blasters have created for our country, Ghana. So it's not these days that they call players every week, every match. It's a standard team. It's a set that was there when they say Blaster is moving to camp. Either they change the squad or you know yourself that you have to report to camp. And when I got in there, I met top players like Robert Hammond, Sule Shutu, Mama Kwa, Polo, Asimedu, Kwesi Danwusu, top players. And for you to stay in camp, you have to work extra hard for them to accept you and keep you in camp. So it's like I've now raised the image of the family and see somebody who was wrapped off, who they said he's nothing, he's not going to end up well. Now projecting the family names high. So I became a hero. There is no meeting that they won't seek my advice and the direction.
So you went back home? I
went back home. I was gladly accepted and even given a room, the biggest room in the house. In my family house, my father even moved from his room and went to a smaller room and gave me a whole chamber and hall. And there that I saw that, yes.
You have arrived.
I've arrived.
You finally arrived.
Yes.
And you've just been speaking about how you needed to keep your place in the national team. Tell me the story of playing for the national team, going to the African Cup, winning the African Cup.
Yeah. You know, before we traveled to prepare for the African Cup, it was a huge competition between all the top players in the Premier League in Ghana. Because we had an opportunity.
So you were still playing for GTP then?
I was still playing for GTP.
So you never played for the House of Old, the Kotoko, the 11 Wise and what?
No. I after I've made my name, I was a guest player for Kotoko and I was a guest player for Olympics just for a while. And then usually when I come on holidays, I play as a guest player because during the revolution, Rollins brought a cup that they have some name for the cup, but I've forgotten. So I played for what do you call it, Kotoko, for that cup, and I played for Olympics when I was signing off from football because I have family problem that I have to move from the Emirates and come back to Accra to solve that family problem. So it was a huge competition where we have to go to Brazil for 6 months to prepare us for the league. And it was a tough selection. So I have to increase my work rate to be selected, to be part of the group. So lucky for me, I was selected and we went to Brazil for 6 months. And when we came back, my performance went up than before because we were attached to Flamengo and Fluminense in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we were playing trial matches with the big clubs in Brazil. Yeah, in Rio de Janeiro. So it made me to gather more experience. And that time I was young, so the energy was there. The body was growing because I was eating well. First I was not eating well, but now I was eating well because we went to Brazil and were put in a military camp. They call the place Sefan. It's a Navy camp. So they were feeding us well. So it makes me to develop and my mentality of the game grow. That football is something that is a profession that when you pursue it and you discipline your life, you can make it in life, and it helps me a lot.
Was that your first time of flying in America?
Yes.
The first family member to fly?
No, first member of the family to fly in a plane.
In a plane.
and when I come, people come and sit down, and
you share story about how the other plane behave.
It's just like an interview you are doing to me. How I walk into the plane, how we took off, and how I was feeling, and some funny. Didn't I die on the plane? And you are talking to me, you are asking me, didn't you cool a plane, man? That's the language. So funny, eh?
About the Afcon.
Yeah.
People won the Afcon in '78, and I remember speaking to Mohamed Polo. He spoke about how it was a very difficult tournament.
Yeah, it was really difficult because the target was host and win. And the state spent a lot of money on us in Brazil. And those days, when we came back from Brazil, when we are playing friendly match, we don't score less than 5 goals. Burkina Faso, Sierra Leone, Liberia, the Gambia, they were, when we want to play trial matches, those are the countries that we played trial matches, and we scored them 8, 9, that kind of thing. Not today, if we are going to play such teams, we are panicking. No. So it was a very big competition. At the end of the training program, we have 2 broken legs.
Oh.
Ajima Prepe and Danousu. Danousu broke his leg when we went to Africos to play a friendly World Cup series matches. And he broke his leg, and then we were playing with SS74 at Accra Sports Stadium. One of our players, Jiman Prempe from Kotoko, he also broke his leg. So you can see how aggressive and intensive the preparation was. So we were lucky to, out of about 40-something players, 22 were selected to be registered to play in the tournament. And I was lucky to be one of the players. And I make sure that I justify my inclusion in the tournament, because I made sure that as I was selected, the confidence that the coaches had in me, dropping other players that were playing in the big clubs to risk me and Azekakwe from Dumas Boys of GTP, allowing us to play in the Blasters is a huge sacrifice they put up there, and we have to justify it. And at the end of the day, I was proud to contribute for us to win the cup.
Do you recall how many games you played in the tournament?
I played about 4 matches.
Oh, then that's almost the entire tournament.
That's right. I was there.
And did you score?
I scored. I scored the famous goal against Nigeria that even gave us the opportunity to move to the finals to win the cup. But in every match, I was the best bench player, because when the going is tough,
Then they bring the best substitute.
Then I come to solve the problem.
Salvage the situation.
Yes. Because as the technical word said, your bench must be strong like the starting 11. So that when you have a problem on the field of play, when you do changes, the team will still be strong.
What kind of a coach was Fredo Samdudu?
He was a very good technical coach. And everybody who was trained in Brazil know total football. So back in the days, we were called the Brazilians of Africa because we play good football, we play good possession, and we play accurate passes and attacking football. So at the end of the day, we will definitely get the results. And we make Ghana proud, and during those times, we were even representing Africa in the Afro-Asian Games, where we went to Iran, went to China, defending Africa in terms of African football. So I said football has helped me a lot to know all the continents of the world through football.
At what point were people promised that if you win the tournament, you were going to be given houses?
Yes, we were not promised from the beginning of the tournament. But the tournament got to a stage where something must be said to motivate us to go for the kill. So we didn't even know, but we were in the camp when Sempi Asante, he was the special assistant of football to Akutu Achempo, came to men's room. That is where we were camped. That if we were able to fight and win the cup for the nation, the head of state has promised us an estate house, each one of us. So everybody was shocked because that was the first time we would hear that a team is going to win a cup for the nation and they were going to give him an estate house. It was a shock to us. But that was what rather motivated us to work hard on that day, and we were able to win the team. And they were flew from the stadium with helicopter. They picked us on the field of play with helicopter, to the Burma camp, to a champion's residence. And there was a lot of jubilation, and the head of state himself announced to the press and to the public that he has given us, each one of us, an estate house.
Did they tell you where the houses were going to be located?
We were first told that those times the Dansoma estates were ready. But some of our colleagues wanted the estate house in their regions. That was the delay. Like we all agree, according to the way the head of state said that time, we could have given the estate the following day because the mood was right, there was happiness, everything was good. But our people started complaining that they also want to go back to their regions, stay in their own house, and be proud that they play football and they were given it. And that was the end of the story.
Couldn't they have just taken these houses? If you don't want to stay there, you sell it. And go and build it in your village or wherever you want it to be situated.
That is the wise thinking. But nobody expected that a champion would be overthrown as quickly as possible. So we thought we had time. They thought they had time. So back in the days, it was
what it clearly meant was that they expected the state to go and build those houses in their locality or regions.
Yes. Joseph Carl and Kuku Dazi won their estate in Cape Coast. Paha and others won theirs in Sekendi Takrady. Kumasi people want theirs in Kumasi. Brunhafu people want theirs in Brunhafu. I'm the only person who don't want mine at Aplau. I want it in Accra.
But did you get it?
I didn't get it because of their decision.
No, so
and they didn't want to give the things individually.
Oh, okay.
They want the thing to be at a ceremony where they will present the thing to just hype the whole situation and be part of the celebration. You get it?
Then you
As politicians, you know, they always want to score
political points.
That's right. But less than 2 months, the guy was overthrown, and that is the end of the story.
But, so would you say because he was overthrown, that is why you didn't get the,
Yes,
the houses?
because what make it worse, when Jerry came, he was into boxing more than football. And that was the revolution time. So he even don't want to talk about football, because that time the times were rough. To the extent that when we were supposed to go to, what do you call it, Libya, to go and defend the cup, he don't wanted to go. But it's Gaddafi who came and picked the Blasters to go and play in that tournament as political points. But that time I was in camp, but when I look at the situation, I have to move. And when they went there and they won the cup, they gave them half piece of Dumas. So from that day, people started to curse the Blasters. You know, because we were promised estate houses. They won the cup and they were giving half piece of Dumas as their contribution towards the revolution.
I remember speaking to one of them, Opoku Nti, who was part of the team, and he told them that when they came back and went to meet Rawlings, he gave them a handshake and told them that
and salute.
The country has nothing to offer them.
That's right. As a GTP, they went to GTP and they gave them half piece, 6 years, Dumas. That's their reward. That day, people started to curse Blasters.
Yeah, Opoku Nti actually said that was the point many people began that no, it was not worth it dying for it.
That's right.
But how disappointing was it that you people didn't get those houses?
It was bad. In fact, our people are still talking about it. But I always tell them, Charlie, forget about it. Because it will happen. It should have happened. The only government that remember us was John Mahama.
2015.
Yeah, he gave us some seed money as compensation. But still people are not satisfied with that compensation.
But the compensation cannot build a house.
That is what they are saying. There is difference between the compensation and the house. But it's the circumstances, it's the situation. Now, the way the country is going, it will be very, very difficult for any head of state to go back and bring that subject up and say, because of that promise, everybody go to what you call Segleme and go and take
one house.
With this,
and many have even died.
They die in that kind of situation. They die as puppets. They die as disappointed footballers, which sometimes I blame them, because football is a temporary business. You have number of years to play football, but as you are playing the game, what plans do you have for your future? So if you don't invest well in your future, you get disappointed along the way. But you know, it's not only footballers that were selected to play or serve the country, and people don't recognize their contribution. But you see, building a country, all these things, they help to build a country. Because Kwame Nkrumah used Blaster as one of his political weapons.
Yes.
And to project Black Star. That's why he specifically gave the name of the national team the Black Stars.
The Black Star.
Yes.
Black Star of Africa.
Of Africa. You get it. And he has his own team, but he called them Republicans.
Yes, we are Republicans.
Yes. But Black Star was a team that Kwame Nkrumah had long-term plans for.
Yeah.
So Black Star initially was a sacrificial job. It's not a team that you play and you expect something. You play to build your future, you play to make your name for your family and to yourself. When I was playing for the Blasters, I don't buy clothes. I don't have a car back then but I don't pay transportation. I sit in people's car for free. I buy, go to shop bar, I eat free. I go to shop, I want to buy things.
How are these things happening? How can I come and sit in my car for free, or you go to buy something and they give it to you for free?
When I get out from my house and I stay by the roadside in Newtown, just like the way the taxi drivers look for passengers. They call me, Willie, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Accra. Then they turn around and come. And then they start conversation in terms of football. Yes, I want to pick a taxi with the mind that I'll pick a taxi and pay. But we are talking. I got to where I'm going to get down. Oh, I want to pay. Oh, no. I'm even happy that I've picked you. Go.
So those are some of the benefits of playing.
Benefits. I go to XD Karam. I want to buy materials to go and sew clothes. I pick, I get to the counter, and somebody will tell me, don't pay. I will pay everything. I will be surprised.
But Mr. Klutse, there's this thing there. I spoke to Reverend Osei Kofi. He spoke about how the 63 and 65 Afcon winning teams were also promised houses by Kwame Nkrumah. I spoke to Reverend Kofi Parry. He spoke about the same thing. I spoke to Wilberforce Mfum. He spoke about the same thing. Then there is your generation as well, 78.
Yeah.
That also did not get the houses. There's this consistency of a state promise and the state failing to honor those promises. In as much as individuals made those promises. So for instance, Kwame Nkrumah made promises. He made the promises as head of state. So even in his absence, the state could still have honored those promises. Kutu Acheampong made those promises as a head of state. If someone comes to overthrow him, it is a word of the head of state. So couldn't the state had honored these promises that were made to players, instead of allowing some of you, as you mentioned, die as paupers? Some of them died without having places to even lay their heads and all that. It's quite disappointing. And when young players actually hear that, it's difficult for them to be so much committed to serving the country. As you mentioned, it was service. Yeah. Now, because of the previous stories, I want to make money.
You are right. Our seniors, the 63 and
65 team,
they said it, but I haven't heard it publicly.
Yes.
Publicly. Now, ours, it was a public announcement published in the newspapers. Everybody knows about our promise. Are you get what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that they are lying. No. I can't testify about something that I didn't hear and I didn't see people confirm it.
Yes, but what I'm just saying
colleagues
is that,
are saying it.
I
understand what you are saying.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that is the failure in the part of the state
to honor these promises.
Because they always said taking over a government is liability and something.
Yeah, access.
So when you come to meet something and it's a state policy, you have to follow it. Because it's people that they use in achieving that aim. Are you getting what I'm saying? When you see even our veterans also complain along that line.
Yes.
That the state promise and they don't deliver. In quotes, it's the politicians. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the people who form government are politicians. So if they will stand by their word, I don't think people will complain. So when you fast forward to this current time, our young players, they have heard about these stories. And they have experienced some of the times when they come to play their game. Sometimes their winning bonus are not ready. And you remember they travel to World Cup or something like that. They have to demand their money before they go even to training or play a match. All those things form the background of their thinking.
Would you say what happened to you people, your generation, affected the mentality of players towards the national team?
Yes, because we have families. They also have families. And like I said from the beginning, people don't see football as some occupation or profession that you have to throw in everything and get something in reward. Football is played within a certain time. When your time passes, you may not be old, but your reflexes will come down.
You cannot benefit again.
You can't benefit again. Your speed, your whatever, your energy, it will go down automatically. You'll be forcing, but you'll be killing yourself and punishing yourself. Are you get what I'm saying? So they think now that they are informed, they are strong, they have to make the money and plan their future before that time will come.
You made
because
money?
A lot of people are not playing football now with their actual age. We have something we call football age.
Tell me more about that.
A lot of players are using it because they want to meet their program.
But that's criminal.
It's criminal.
You can't cheat nature.
Yes, that's why
if you can't run, you can't run.
No,
you are old.
That's why when you are caught, you are banned or you are punished severely. It's not the best. But it's the circumstances, especially in Africa. It's difficult to make it through football. You have to be extraordinary. You have to have a game plan. You have to have a vision about your life and what you want to achieve in football. That is the reason why when we were starting playing football, our family didn't see any future in football because they saw Dogomoro and others play football and they only end up on the street.
So are you suggesting that even those days people could still change their age before playing football?
No.
Those days was
those
really
days the football was not taken to anywhere.
So these days,
but the more you are matured, the more you are given the opportunity to play. Because the young and the small boys plays in the coast, which is very, very active, like the Premiership second division.
So matured people were playing in the topmost division.
Yes.
Okay.
And the up and coming ones play in the coast league. That is very vibrant, and more attention was given to coast football, where people go in their numbers to watch coast matches on Saturday before Sundays. The elite teams play.
But this age cheating thing you just mentioned, it's something that is adhered by FIFA, by CAF, and almost every single body. Is it only the players who are changing their ages, or they do it with the officials? How is it done?
It's not all the players who change their age. It's something that is there, but you can't pinpoint anybody that you are doing it. So what would FIFA do? FIFA themselves, they know it. That's why they brought the MRI. And the MRI disqualify a lot of players. A whole team. Last time I was told Nigeria, the whole squad was disqualified.
A very old black starlets also suffered same when they went to
So you can't deceive yourself that it's
black
not happening.
Princesses or even maidens have been banned by CAF because of age cheating.
You can't dispute it that it's not happening. But if you don't talk about it, then you are deceiving yourself. So what we have to let the young people know that make hay when the sun shines. So go through a very good system, come out strongly, and make it before your age, expire in terms of football.
Did you make money in football?
What?
Did you make money in football?
I made money through football. I live in football money. I'm comfortable playing football because out of football, I've sent my kids to America. They went to school, went to university. One is a master, had his masters, and one is in business. If I didn't benefit from football, then I'm not praising God. I live my life from A to Z through football. I'm comfortable following football, and I've made a lot of players through football to make it, and they are comfortable. So I thank God for that he made me to follow football, and not me alone benefiting. I've helped people move. Last time I made the account of players that I've helped to make it in football, the number was almost 13 and over.
So the money you made, did you make that money playing for a national team, or you made it from your club football? When you spoke about going to the UAE.
Yes, I made it through club football.
The UAE?
Yes. I played in the same team with Yakubu Ahmed, Polo's senior brother, and Polo himself in Al Wassan in Dubai. Stayed there for 5 years. And that is where I saw the benefit of football. The way I was received, the way they put
Which
me.
year was this?
1980.
Then yes, that one is even recent. You made money in the 90s.
Yes. You see? And that is after we won the cup and we saw nothing coming. We went to Nigeria to defend the cup and nothing was coming. So quickly, we have to find somewhere. Because don't forget, I told you from my beginning that I won't make it in football. So that was always at the back of my mind. They say I can't make it in life. Are they true or I am wrong? So I keep pushing. And I thank God that God blessed me through football. And I have always been a blessing.
Is that how you bought your house or houses?
Yes.
Is it a house or houses?
Houses.
How many?
2.
You bought 2 houses?
Yes. I live in one.
Yeah, the one at UPS. I've been there.
Yes.
I've been
Is
there.
it a bad house?
Oh, no, it's not.
How many people who work and build a house like that?
Oh,
build a story building.
I've been to that house. I've been to that house. I know.
I build shop. Don't you see
house.
shops in the?
Yes.
So why won't I praise God?
How many children do you have?
I have 6.
6 children.
Yes.
With one
and
wife
they
or
went
2 women?
2.
You
But I divorced. Yes. And my out of football, my kids went to good schools in Ghana and in America. And right now, one is the only boy is now in UPSC. The last one is in Accra Girls. You see?
I was told Jamil Marabi is your in-law.
Yes, in my law.
The marketing manager of the Ghana Football
That's right.
Is your in-law.
The wife.
The wife?
Yes.
Yes, your daughter.
She's masters in nursing. You see how football has taken me far.
Yeah, and she's going to marry someone who is also into football.
You see?
that's a good one.
I thank God for my life.
At what point did you get into our life?
2001, from the World Cup.
Okay.
My people followed me through the World Cup because they gave me some boys that I was monitoring for them, with Afrani, of course. And we got to the finals, and they saw the way I was helping Afrani to prepare the team, train them with my background. Afrani was relying on me with my experience and my technique to help the team, and we got to the finals. Could you believe that when we were going to start the qualifying series, me and Afrani, we put money together to buy jersey for the national team. We were not supported. The GFA back then, they left the team on us because Afrani was the technical director in the ministry. And Yiti Mensah was the minister, and he was his technical director. So whatever request, he sent it straight to the minister, not through the GFA. So Agra, you know that guy, Agra, they didn't even want to have nothing to do with our team. So me and Afrani, we put our money together to buy jersey, and when we went to the World Cup, Afrani has to use people that he knows to send us jerseys from America. So the national team jersey we use in the World Cup in Argentina is not from government.
You were the assistant coach there?
Yes, no, I'm the team manager.
You were the team manager? Oh, okay.
Sule was the assistant coach. But Afrani believes more in me than Sule. So he was doing everything in terms of arrangement, and I was moving up and down, advising the boys, talking to them till we get to the finals. They didn't pay us even winning bonus. All the winning matches we won through the qualifying series from Ethiopia all the way to the World Cup. 1 city, they didn't give us. But we made players. Razak Bimpo, our group, Sule Muntari, all they were playing for the Blasters. Yes, they're from our group. But the government didn't spend only plane ticket they bought for us. 1 city, winning bonus, they didn't give us all the way from Ethiopia.
But you mentioned that playing for the national team was not about making money. So
that's what I'm saying.
If it was not about
because I have that mentality.
They sacrificed.
I have that mentality.
It was part of that sacrifice.
That is what I'm saying. I have that mentality. But today, can you do that to this current blaster? For them to sacrifice?
Times have changed.
That's what I'm saying. And those days, we're getting results. But now times have changed. It's only the resetting that is applying to us now. So we are hoping that the resetting will continue.
So talk to me about Inter Allies. You've been with Inter Allies for
Since
over
2020.
That's like 24 years
yes,
now.
Yes.
Hey, that's really a long time. It's why you've been part of nurturing of some of the best talents.
Scouting, nursing, programming. I'm the technical director. And my people give me the free hand to shape the team. And as you know, Inter Allies is the leading club in the world from Africa that moves players. We have moved so many players from here in the sense of helping the players. Because look at them, they are coming from a very bad background. And I look at myself and I use my testimony to advise them. And use the training itself as evangelism. I preach to them where God can take you from nothing to something.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm the typical example from nothing to where I am now. So I keep their hopes high.
How did you feel when eventually this club you've been part of for many, many years was demoted by the Ghana Football Association for alleged match fixing?
I was not too worried, but I was disappointed in that group of players that they will use their future in gambling. The playing body went to gambling with their match.
Did you believe that the players were involved in some match fixing?
It's the players who told us.
That they were involved
this
in
one,
match fixing?
yes, this one bet, including with our team manager. So we have to sack the whole team. At the end of the day, I went to the disciplinary committee meeting.
So the FA was not wrong in demoting Inter Allies, were they?
We were not the cost. It's the players. We reported the players to Nima police station. And they said, once the thing is on the national television, we should rather leave it to GFA. So we sent the story to GFA. I was part of the group, and Della, we sent the message to GFA.
So if you did your investigation, you sent a report to the FA.
And names.
You sent the names to the FA and everything goes in. It means the FA were right in shutting down Inter Allies and said because this is an entity that is breeding talents who are into betting, and which is inimical to the game of football. So the FA were not wrong then.
They were wrong in a way.
How?
They didn't conduct their investigation well.
You gave them a report.
We gave them a report.
You gave them a lead.
We gave them a lead.
They trusted your lead.
And we proved to them.
And they decided to use it against you.
It's wrong judgment. It's not every judgment that is right. You can judge a case and you are wrong.
So
that's why people go to appeal.
Are you suggesting that the FA could have sanctioned the players and left the club?
Their point was that they went to play the game in the name of the club. That is our fault.
That's truly the point.
So if you excuse me to say, you go to commit a crime, is it your family who sent you to go and commit the crime?
But they can come and arrest your mother or your father.
That is what I'm saying.
You are not there.
But after investigation, they will know that you are a bad boy.
No.
And that is your character.
If I commit a crime, they can come and pick my father for the crime I have committed.
If they don't see you.
If they don't see me, yes.
Yes. But if your father hand you over to the police, this my boy has gone to commit a crime, deal with him. Why should they leave your kid and arrest you?
The entity Inter Allies is associated with the players. The players went there to represent the club. Whatever happens, positively or negatively, is on the image of Inter Allies, not only the players.
So the entity arrested the players, sent them to the authorities, deal with these people. These are the evidence. If you don't have evidence, then what you are saying, I will believe what you are saying. But we have the evidence, we have names, we have circumstances, we have mobile money list of transfer of money that went on.
But Emmanuel go something like that.
What did they do with it?
He's nowhere to be found.
That's what I'm saying. I interview him. You know he's a chief. He removed his standards and swear by his his kinship. That he knows nothing about what happened. We went to MTN, mobile money, whatever it is, and we saw how the money was transferred through him to the place. We presented all these things as evidence.
So he gave the money to the players. In what capacity was he giving money to your players?
He was not the team manager. He was a supporter.
So how can
that day we didn't go with the team because we were fighting relegation, and it got to 5 matches before the end of the league, and we're telling them each match they win, we pay them 1,000 Ghana cedi. But the betting was giving them more than the 1,000 Ghana cedi. So they snubbed our 1,000 cedis and they were betting. That was the reason why we were going down.
But did you realize that most of these players, right, when they went to CAS to fight the decision, they won the case?
It's not all of them. It's one person, and it's Kotoko who fought for Richmond. And
I wrote to CAS.
You wrote to CAS.
And CAS sent me the ruling.
And what names did they show that they petitioned?
There are many.
The number of people who petitioned CAF.
Maybe
they add the numbers together. In fact, that we have got over that. Are you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that is not the only vision of the club. Don't you see we are bouncing back with a new crop of players? And even after this incident, the team is getting stronger and stronger and stronger because we have vision, we have plans, we have program, and we know what we want out of football.
So this was the email that CAS sent to me. That Alex Sasso was your player.
Yes.
Felix Abuska was your player.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There was also Mohamed Zakari, Shaibi Tawfiq, Fahad Ibrahim, I know very well.
Yeah.
Ricky Dakwa, Eric Eso, no, they are not your players. Amos Kofi Nkrumah, Kofi Wusubana Hene, Kwame Moses, Ampim de Costa.
Those are Goldfields players.
These are Goldfields players. Azigo Pokujima, Solomon, Mohamed Belu, Solomon Efriye, Emmanuel Owusu, Samet Mohamed, Paul Asari De Vries, Amos Adai, Abdul Kadri Mohamed, Isa Ali, Mr. Richmond Lamse.
Yeah.
This was the list the Court of Arbitration sent to me when I wrote to them about the rule. And in fact, I was actually the first person to report the story of how FIFPro was fighting for the players. So if FIFPro said these players, there was no enough evidence for them to be sanctioned, clearly Inter Allies, if you said you have evidence and you submitted it to the FA, then you were also wrong in that case.
In what sense?
You were wrong in the sense that
let me ask you a question.
Tell that
Did
there was
FA,
no enough evidence.
Did you get in touch with the FA?
The Ghana Football Association?
Yes.
In fact, let me tell you something interesting. I actually knew the Ghana Football Association was going to demote Inter Allies way before it happened.
Look, a painter came to my house to come and paint my house before the league was started. He told me that we are the next club that will go to relegation. Before the league was started. I swear to God. I won't lie in front of camera. So what you are saying, telling me, you also heard before the league was even started. So this is the situation in which
I'm referring to the demotion. When the incident happened, you can ask some of your
officials. The demotion was a batter on the bread. But we were told, you see, like you want to do something and something happened and the thing happened. You have it in your mind already that the thing will happen and it happens. So
no, I am saying that in this instance, you know, speaking to people, sources within the Ghana Football Association had told me that they were going to use Inter Allies and then Ashanti Gold as scapegoats by demoting the two clubs, no matter what was going to happen. And in fact, I spoke to some of your officials. You can ask them. I'll be surprised if people didn't know that you were going to be demoted.
I'm telling you that a painter came to my house before the league was started, that we are the next people who go to relegation. So we knew about it. But does it stop us from running the club?
So on what basis did the painter say you were going to be
do I know?
Demoted, relegated?
Do I know? We have our club.
Is it a spiritual painter?
I don't know, but it happens. So did I believe it or I didn't believe it?
You believed it?
Yes, but it didn't stop me from acting. We were doing our job. You see, in Inter Allies, winning the league is not a big deal. You know, we qualified to play in Africa in terms of the knockout. We and Kotoko, the knockout back in the day.
Was it the 2014 season where you made a final to the FA Cup?
FA Cup. We qualified to play in FA Cup.
2014.
But we gave it to one of the clubs. We're not interested. Our business is these young people.
Players and putting them out.
I look at myself and I see them. I see them as frustrated kids that they have talent that they have to develop.
Did the demotion affect Interlife, the image of the club, your businesses, your network?
It affects our image. But we bounce back.
You sure you've bounced back?
We bounce back. We are still moving players. Are you going to see? We have bounced back. We are still moving players. Because the players are they are our focus. I pass through what they are going through. And I don't want any footballer who has talent, God-given talent, to waste it. So I told you I use football as sports evangelism. I preach to them how God can turn their life around. Because I'm a living testimony.
2 questions more, then we'll wrap up this conversation. One would be, what would you make of the current state of our football?
I told you that the Blaster, the resetting is affecting Blaster. So look at the enthusiasm now. 2 matches, 8 goals, right? Clean sheet. Have you checked the mood of the citizenry about football?
It's lively. We're excited.
That is the turnaround.
But the Black Stars is not football.
Our
football is huge.
Blaster is the Blaster of Ghana football.
It's the topmost brand of our football.
That's right.
But we have many other aspects of our football. The Premier League, the Division 1, Women's League. There are many aspects of our game.
They say when the fish is going to grow, it's going to start from where?
This is why I say it's enough for some of us.
I mean, this year, May, I will be 70 years. I've been in football for 50 years. You think I haven't learned anything? Through these difficult times that I've gone through, then my 50 years in active football, I've wasted my time. I'll be 17th May. By His grace, I've learned something. So nobody can teach me anything in football. I know too much. Through the good times and the bad times. I know how you can play football from morning to evening and you don't have food. You feed yourself on water, but keep playing. That is what we call sacrificing for the game.
The final question would be, what would you describe as your highest moment as a man involved in football and your lowest moment?
My high moment was when I scored my goal against Nigeria. Up to date, I'm benefiting and ending respect. People see me and they remember. And that is the mark that I've left in Ghana football. You can't talk about the big stars in this country, Ghana, and you take my name off. Somebody will remind me, this boy, or you call my name, this boy, it rings a bell. Go back to 78.
What about the lowest moment?
The lowest moment was when I was kicked out from my house.
You were kicked out of your house?
Yes. I mean, my parents kicked me out that I'm good for nothing. If I want to play football, I should go and live by football. There I saw that I was alone.
I was also told that your house was ransacked many times and your things were stolen away from you.
In 1 week, they stole my everything in my new house. I was left with one shirt, just like the way I've come out. I went back and they've stolen my things. They came, stole my things 3 days continuously. I didn't have money. Somebody even prepared soup for me. I went back and they've taken the soup away with the pan. So now when I sleep, I open the doors, I open the window and lie down on the floor. I said they should come and even take me away. Because I have nothing again in my room. And that was my worst moment, man. I became very lonely.
Where was your wife and your children? Where were they?
We have a shop in town at Usu, my wife's house. So we go there to open the shop and come back. My kids, they go to Morning Star School. So we wait in Usu. When they close, we get home. Those days, it's not a double road. It's just one road. we have to go through traffic before you get to Medina. And this thing was happening, as if it was a planting. So I have to send my wife. Some of our friends came down and they saw that this is not the Willie they know. So they have to put things together and send one of us. So I asked my wife to go to America to go and hustle and raise some money and come and support the family. Through that movement, my 2 daughters have to move and follow her to America. And it benefit the kids. And even Jamil has benefited out of it.
Jamil has married well.
I love that guy, man. He supports me a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so
he supports me a lot.
Is it only daughters or you have a male child as well?
Yes, one. He's now in UPSA.
You have a male child?
Yeah, it's a 1 boy. 5 girls, 1 boy.
Wow.
And he's doing well. He's learning computer, this thing. You know, we are going to AI this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm investing in him in the computer. I don't want my kids to suffer like the way I did.
Any final comments you want to make?
I just want to thank God for my life. That
anything you wish you had spoken about and it was not asked?
You've asked everything. And my story is a long story. The more you ask, the more I tell you. That's why I'm smart enough. That's why my people, they can't get rid of me. Because it's not that we don't fight, but they give me that respect because I've seen life. I've seen the highs and the lows. I've seen hardship. I've seen good times. I've seen bad times. And I can adjust to every situation. And I thank God for who I am and what He has made me to be. I give that glory to God. I won't miss it. Because I was nothing. More or less, mini homeless guy. Look at me now.
No, it would be criminal for me to not ask this question. Do you think Ghana can qualify to the World Cup?
It's possible. Football is determination. What do you want out of this game you are playing? It's determination. And once they have players, we have players, and our players are doing, it's only left to their focus. They have to focus and know what they want this time around. We have been there before. How did we get there? It's the focus. Somebody will tell you it's a different generation. Our generation, who were doing better than them? After our generation, have they won the African Cup of Nations? No. But they went to World Cup. We didn't go to World Cup. So it's the focus and the determination.
Is Utuadu the right man to achieve that?
So far, so good. This resetting, whether you like it or not, is working.
But the Afcon failure, people often use the Afcon failure, the failure to qualify for the Afcon to suggest that he's...
The mentality back then was not right. You see Partey? Yeah? Thomas Partey. You saw the game he played last time.
Yeah.
You saw the game he was playing back then.
Yeah.
Even when they call him, he will give some excuse, he won't come. But this time he came and he scored 2 goals. So the mentality is changing. The focus is changing.
So are you so suggesting the claims that, the people and the players are not so, passionate about qualifying to the Afcon, but they are passionate about qualifying to the World Cup?
It's the disappointment they face in the camp. Players don't joke with their money. If you are not ready to give them money, don't promise them. If you are ready to give them, when they do what you want to do, give them the money. But you tell them, use your money, pay ticket and come. When you come, when you are going, we give you. And they come and they are going to say, go.
But in recent times, we don't do that anymore.
That's what I'm saying. It has happened before.
Yes, it has happened before. The last time that happened was in 2016.
If you stop doing it, you get different result. It could be that is not the only problem. You know, last time they were complaining about field. They put it before, back then,
the vice president,
they do their field. They have so many tweets to say.
In December, all other countries will be in the Afcon. Yes. Ghana will not be there. It will dawn on us the failure of...
When we won the African Cup 78, we were not in the previous...
That is past glory.
Yes.
Mr. Klutse, as you and I speak...
Yes.
For more than 4 decades...
Yeah.
Right? It means that if you take a look at the population of this country, about 90 to 95% of this country's population does not know how it feels to celebrate winning Afcon.
Yep.
So we can't continue to rely on the past glory that you people chalked.
We just talked about disappointment where you said some of the old players confirmed to you that the day they gave them the half pieces and a handshake, they saw that Blaster will not be Blaster again. You remember you just told me?
Yeah.
Don't you, we Africans, don't you believe in curses?
So you are the reason why we've not.
I'm not part of them. Did I say so? I'm not part. I said you said. The people said it will not be well with Blaster again. I didn't say it. Me, I'm satisfied with what Blaster have done for me. That is what I'm enjoying up today. So how can I curse Blaster? Blaster have made me turn my life around. I told you 3 months. Blaster, people went to Blaster without any plan. They didn't come from anywhere. They didn't go into Blaster to prove a case. I went to Blaster because I was rejected, and I swear to myself that me and these people who said I will end up nothing, I want to prove them wrong. So money was not my focus. It's to make the name, and at the end of the day, today I'm sitting in front of camera. How many old footballers will you have the time to spend with them? They don't even have a story. I have a lot of stories.
You have so many stories to share, and most of these stories are often heard only on
you see the
Prime
badges?
Take. Yes.
These are most of the World Cups and the tournaments that I went. That is my general listing.
I see Ghana flag. I
Yeah,
see Egypt,
you don't see Argentina.
I see CAF, I see Argentina.
So many countries.
Wow.
I even have the World Cup, but somebody stole it. I put the thing down to go and wash my hands. He moved it from it.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's one of the general medals that I have.
Oh wow, that's a good one. Mr. Willie Klutse, my guest on Prime Take.